Hello everyone, so today, because it's the last week of term next week, and after speaking to some parents this week and last week and previous weeks, we know that a lot of children, year sixes, are obviously struggling a little bit at the moment with the transition, particularly as you haven't been able to go to the senior schools like they usually do, because last year when you went to your school, you got a day in school, didn't you?
Yeah.
And what did you do during that day?
Just went around the school, learning where everything was, learning what form we're in, like meeting the people in our form.
And did that help with the transition?
Yeah, you make a lot of friends, on that starting day, and the first day you go in, that's where you make like your friends.
So obviously that's not happening this year, because of the situation we're in. So I was going to talk a bit about transition myself, and then I thought, well, it's been a long time since I done the transition from primary to senior to high school. So JJ's just done it last year, didn't you?
Yeah.
So what I want to start off talking about is, because I know that JJ had the same worries as the parents are saying that the year sixes now are having. So what worries did you have? What do you think, before, forget about your transition day, pretend you didn't have that one day transition, what worries did you have about going to high school?
I wasn't in my form with many mates. The people in my form seemed a bit boring, some of them, and like I was worried about making mates, and yeah.
So you were worried about, because the form you went into, I think you had one friend, didn't you?
Yeah.
In there. So you're worried about, well, what about all the rest of my friends and my friendship group? I'm not going to see them. And did you? When you actually got there,
yeah,
did you see them?
You see them quite a lot.
So even though you weren't informed with them, you're still seeing them?
Yeah, it's really big when you start it, but when you like know where everything is, it seems a lot smaller.
What's big? The building?
The building everywhere.
Is it?
At first.
Because I remember you coming home some days. Do you remember the day when
I
you
kept
got
getting
lost? You getting lost, and didn't someone at one of the year 10s sent you in a different direction?
Yeah. But it doesn't matter if you get lost. They don't mind in the first like month. But like if you're still getting lost in like later on in the year, they won't have it.
So how long do you think it took you to find? Because it's quite your school is quite it's quite complex, isn't it? The way it's set out. How long do you reckon it took you?
Well, I'm still I'm not struggling to find the physics, but like all the art, all the sciences are on different floors. So like one science room.
Yeah.
Like it's really hard to know which order they go in. I know biology is at the bottom, but it's just really hard to know.
But in comparison to because of COVID, you were only there from like September to March. But I reckon, from my point of view, I think by Christmas, even before Christmas, I'd say by the end of the first term, you sort of knew where you were going. Or like you've still got a couple of places where you're unsure of. But by the end of the first term, I think you were pretty much sorted. Even when you were telling me about the year 10 who sent you the wrong direction, you found that quite funny, didn't you?
Yeah.
And the teachers weren't that bothered, were they?
No, they weren't bothered at all.
Give you a little leeway. So finding your way around that just comes the same as anything. And what else? All boys school, because you're in an all boys school.
Yeah.
What worries did you have about it being an all boys school?
There weren't girls there. There might be a lot of fights, but like if there are fights, you just learn to deal with them. And
right.
About the girls not being there, like they're on Instagram, so.
So do you think it hasn't really affected you that much, sort of, because you were in junior school, obviously, with lots of girls and boys there. Now, with it being just a boys' school,
I think it's better.
Do you? Why?
Because you can concentrate on your work more, and you can also like there's like football's a bit more like rough. It's not even football. You just run around with the ball, getting like slammed everywhere. It's so fun.
Right. Okay. So, because it's very sporty, your school as well. I know that a lot of the all boys schools on the Whittle are really sporty. So, if you're into sports and you're going to an all boys school, then it's great. I presume the girls' school. I don't know as much about all girls' schools, but I presume they're still really sporty.
I don't really know.
Don't know. So what about the work? You must have had worries about the work.
There was so much work at first. Well, it feels like it is, but then when you ease into it, it's like there's not actually much here. You just have to set it out and plan ahead, and then it feels like nothing.
So is that more about systems? You have to get a system in place for like the homework.
Like it's good if like your teachers haven't set up like a program on your phone or something. It's good to bring in like a little book you can write like homeworks in and that, because later on in the year if you forget it's not good.
JJ's top tips. Take a little book. I like that. So because I do remember at first, even from us, it seemed quite heavy. The amount, he's bringing his books home every day. He's having to remember which books to take in. I think in the end you just took all your books in every day.
Yeah, but it's not good.
It's not what you mean. It's not good.
Because it hurts your back.
Oh right, okay. So you're getting a bit more used to taking which books, and you organise your own timetable. But that all come pretty quickly. Say by Christmas you had that boxed off, didn't you?
Yeah, for me, if you're thinking about buying a locker, for me, I bought one and it wasn't any use.
Do you think you've made many friends now?
Yeah, I've made quite a lot.
Like new friends?
Yeah, like in college you have like cages, but like in the field and that. But if you're going to like Hillbury or something, yeah, then people like when you go in with friends, or even if you don't go in with friends, the first friend you make might have other friends, and he tells them about you, and then they might have friends, and so people end up knowing about you, and then they're like, all right, JJ, and you're like, who's that?
So your sort of circle starts growing and growing and growing without you even realising.
And you're like, someone says, right, but you don't even know who they are. So you just end up making friends that way sometimes.
So do you think, for those year sixes that are watching this then, boys and girls, do you think there's anything that they should be worried about? Because obviously you're worried about a lot of things, but is there anything to be worried about?
Yeah, I think they should.
They should worry.
It's normal to have worries.
Oh, right, okay.
No, okay. You should have worries, but that just makes you plan, and when that makes you plan, your worries are nothing.
Right, okay. So the worries are helping prepare them for going to high school.
But like none of them are gonna happen. It just helps.
Right, okay. That's a good way of looking at it, actually, Jay.
Thanks.
I like that. Bit of a positive mindset shining through there. So those worries are what sort of make you prepare yourself for high school, is what you're saying, isn't it? I suppose. So what would you say the biggest, to finish off? What would you say the biggest positives about going to high school in comparison to primary school? What's the biggest positive about now being in high school? What do you like about it most?
I'm gonna say more more than one thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Please do.
Your friendship circle grows a lot, and you have chance to. If you didn't really get on with people in your old school, you have chance to sort of like a new start with people you didn't really get on with.
Oh, well,
if they're coming with you, and
So do you think that you're getting on with people you never used to get on with as much in junior school? Do you think you're getting on with them more now?
Yeah.
I suppose that's because it's filtered down a bit, because in primary school you're all there, aren't you? And I suppose it's all filtered down a little bit when you go to high school. Isn't
I
it?
also like getting up between lessons, because it's not so it doesn't feel so constant.
So you like the moving around in between lessons?
Yeah, because you can chat to people. If you get lost, that's just more time not in lessons. So,
try not to get lost though.
So
don't get lost on purpose.
Like you can get like.
Which it sounds like, but do you get lost on purpose, Jay?
And I used to, but yeah. But if you get lost with if you're walking around with your mates, it's easier to learn where new places are, because your mates will know some places and you'll know some places, and then you're like, oh, where's English? And it's like, let's say your school has buildings, you're like, oh, it's in the glass pool building or whatever. So you end up knowing where that place is, and you end up sharing. But if you get lost, you're getting lost together. So.
Ah, that's a good point. Yeah, so you sort of look after each other as well.
Yeah, and your form travels in a group, unless it's split lessons. But you're always with about like 10 people from your form in split lessons. So it's
So
like,
right, yeah. So if you are struggling,
so
with
you're
the
always
crowd.
you're always traveling in groups.
Nice. And what about any? And have you got? What would be your top tips? What would be your? So finish off with give me JJ's top tip about keeping your worries down for high school. And what's your top tip?
Have fun.
Yeah.
Bring a book into school, and be prepared.
Like it. JJ's top tips. Have fun. Take a book into school. What's the book for again?
Writing down homework.
Writing down homework.
And just stuff you need to remember.
And what was the last one?
Forgotten.
You'll have to look back on what the last one was then. Right, thank you, Jay. It's better coming from Jay's mouth than my mouth because he's done it. And as you can see, he's quite happy. Looking forward to going back as well, aren't you?
Yeah.
Going in next week. That'll be good, won't
Decent.
it? Right, cheers, Jay. See you soon. Bye.